let's talk about the future of this team. The present is a little bleak. 4-game losing streak. If they lose to the Bears, so help them, God. But they haven't lost to the Bears yet, and I don't think they will. Anyway.
I don't think they will either.
This season kind of feels like limbo. Like they're kind of just stuck in the middle. So what about the future? Trey Lance is exciting. We're going to get to the quarterbacks. Let's go defense first, position by position, figure out who's going to be here next year and what we think of what they got. DB. I can name some names. You tell me if you think you'll be here next year.
Go for
it. Okay. Verrett.
No.
K1.
No.
Tart.
No.
Mosley.
Yes.
Jimmy Ward.
Yes.
Okay, so in the right there, they're losing 3 starters in the secondary, and then the backups they got Ambry Thomas, he'll be back.
Yep.
Talanoa, he'll be back.
Yep.
Josh Norman.
No.
Drake Kirkpatrick.
No.
Dante Johnson. Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh well, yes, because he's eternal. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll take that back.
Okay. So the Niners' defensive backfield for 2021 currently consists of Mosley, Ward, Ambry Thomas, Talanoa, and Diamador Lenore. That's 5 players. Did I miscount that?
No.
Anyway, what do you think?
I mean, they're going to have to add people in free agency, and they're going to have to add people in the draft, and hopefully that's something that they value depending on where they pick in the second round and who's out there. But this is largely the problem with this whole run it back 2019. I know 49er fans don't want to hear the R word, but there's going to be 34 guys, and we're going to go through all of them that are probably not going to be here next year. And this team is going to look drastically different next year. And it starts with a lot of those guys as well, too. Listen, no knock against Jason Verrett. I just think that someone else will give him a chance. And I think that they've kind of run their course with that. Tart, I think, is, he's going to be back. He's not going to play this week. He'll be back sooner than later. It's not going to be something that's multi-week as people are stating, and I don't think that that's what's going to happen. I would expect to see him next week against the Arizona Cardinals, but at that point, someone else is going to probably pay him. They probably will let that go. Jimmy Ward is going to walk, and Mosley will probably be here. And like you said, those rookies, Ambry and Diamador, and then when you're talking about Dante Johnson is inevitable. He's going to end up on this roster one way or another, so.
Final destination on the 49ers. That's Dante Johnson. I don't like this defensive backfield. The safeties are okay. I mean, Jimmy Ward's good, and Talanoa looks like he might be promising. Like he might.
We're gonna find out this week.
Yeah, we're gonna find out about Talanoa. Good point. I'm not sure that the Niners have any starting caliber cornerbacks for next year, and I include Mosley in there. I like Mosley. He has good games, but then he'll have games where he gets roasted and then he misses time. He looks like he's the kind of guy who's like, I don't know, maybe your nickel, maybe a high-level backup. He could start, but are you going to get 17 games from Emmanuel Mosley? And how? I don't know. Anyway, he's the best you got. After that,
he's a good 2 when your defensive line is getting getting pressure. Right,
great. Yeah.
Right. When your D line is getting pressure, he can be a great 2. And I think that last week, don't be a victim of recency bias.
Okay, because I'm doing that right now.
All right, yeah, because I was gonna say he was pretty good the weeks before that, right?
Like you said, he was phenomenal.
And like you said, it's 1 or 2 weeks or whatever where it's like that. But, I understand what you're saying in terms of that. He's not like a high level starter, but he can be a good number 2 as well, too.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't want to poo-poo him in that way.
Okay, that's cool. So Mosley, fine, and he's cheap. But if they're just going to think like, well, Diamador is going to step up next year or Ambry's going to step up, they're going to have to show something in the regular season, not training camp, preseason. Otherwise, this is way too important of a position for the Niners to just go like, oh, we got Diamador. It's all good. Like, no, you're going to need to draft this position high, no later than round 2, or sign someone significant. This is a position of importance in the offseason.
One more thing I want to point out with Lenore. I did Croc's morning show this morning, and he kind of pointed out something that I don't think people are talking about. I think that everybody's in love with this idea that Lenore is this outside corner, but he's not built like an outside corner. He doesn't run like an outside corner. He is more of a nickel than he is anything, and that's what he was labeled when he was drafted. Okay. I remember that correctly about him being K1's replacement. So this isn't like some sort of plug and play.
That would be Lenore, great because they're going to need K1's replacement.
Right. Yeah. Right. So that's the thing. So like it's not some plug and play outside thing. He doesn't have the speed to be downfield or anything like that. I understand that he played very well in the first.
And he was giving up big plays down the field.
Right. So that's the point, right? So like I think that and not to poo-poo Lenore playing in the nickel because those are 2 completely different positions. And what I mean by that is, yes, you're playing corner, but you also have to know your blitz packages, your run fits. You also like listen, when you guard
essentially a linebacker. Yeah.
Right. And when you guard slot receivers, like Jalen Ramsey was going up against Hunter Renfro, and there's a
Mhm.
bunch of clips of Hunter Renfro, beating Jalen Ramsey, and everyone's like, oh my God, Jalen. No, do you understand that there's a difference between being a slot and an outside? You can't get hands on those guys. They're shifty,
Yeah.
they win in different ways. There's a difference
They have a
between the
two-way
outside.
go. You can't use the
Right.
sideline, all of it. It's hard.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
it's hard. It's much different. So that's the thing, is that I think that 49er fans have in their head, because of injuries, that Lenore had to play on the outside, and he did what he did against the, let's just face it, the Lions, their barren wide receiver group.
And the
And
backups of the preseason.
right, and then the Eagles game, he kind of got beat by Kes Watkins on that long play, right? And then
Yeah.
there's that other play down the field where, yes, the guy stepped out, but I don't want people to confuse Lenore as some sort of outside corner when it feels like he's more of a nickel than anything.
So they definitely need a starting corner this offseason. Maybe a starting nickel, but Diamador is an ace up your sleeve.
Mhm.
They might need a starting strong safety, but we're going to find out a lot about Talanoa. I would honestly love to get 2 starting corners, but they don't have that kind of draft capital. So just get one.
Right.
Just get one.